What's good, everyone? This is Zen. We're going to get into urine therapy, hair, and psychology. And I want to get into a little bit of the psychology later. I'm going to put a new graph up, so pay attention for that. And right now, we'll start with the easy stuff. We'll get into the urine and distilled water as well, and your kidneys. And then we'll get into the heritage and the difference between monks and Native Americans, and there's an interesting thing they do with their hair. So, first off the bat, let's talk about the pitfalls of urine therapy or using distilled water. And it's not really a pitfall, it just has to do with your kidneys. It has to do with the cleanliness of your body. It has to do with any kind of, some people call it a Herxheimer effect. Some people just look at it as your body trying to get toxins out of it. And really, what's happening is throughout your body, you have stored up information. You can call it fat, you can call it cancer, you can call it tumors, you can call it gunk, you can call it whatever you like, but your body is stored up, and it's basically food and information that has been jammed into your body in different locations that become excess. You can call it toxin if you like. It doesn't really matter the word. It's just your body is a fluid and electrical system that needs to have open pathways and not be dammed up. And so your kidneys are dammed up. And when you start to clean a body, when you start to put, if you have a dirty river, if you have dirty pipes, and you flush clean water through it, it could clog up even worse, because as it starts to remove the buildup on the pipes, or starts to move the dirt in the very muddy river, it's going to move it downstream, and it might build up in a spot. So this is what happens to people when they have negative reactions to anything. The idea of someone dying from drinking too much water, well, obviously what's happening is it's pulling waste, whether and probably in your veins, and breaking up cholesterol and moving it, and it's getting clogged up, and it's causing dilemmas. So that is the pitfall to this. But by doing it, depending on your level of health, the amount that you do cleansing is what you can handle, and you listen to your body. So what's happening with these kidneys, because that's where your blood is basically turned inside out and goes through a wormhole and becomes your medicine. Your blood is your tears, is your sweat, is your water, is your urine. It just goes through that system. Your kidneys are cleaning the blood and turning it into your medicine, which is your urine. Most people don't need you. Here's the point of the urine therapy, that everybody, it's waste, don't drink it, and this is not true. That people, we're in a society right now, we're in a world where we've become so toxic and overloaded with chemicals and positive ionic things such as salts and um, heavy foods and cooked fats and things that just shouldn't be in the body, that have caused so much chaos and so much disruption in the electrical as well as the water system of the body, and the material system being the skeletal system, because there's built up in joints, seen as arthritis, or build up in the head, in your brain, seen as Alzheimer's. There's clogs that are happening all over the body. Now, when you start pushing these things out, the idea of the urine being used is speeding up the process. And if you're in a very bad state, if you were to go on a very do a quick turn, you might cause problems. So this idea of using urine probably wasn't used too much, because people in the past, in the ancients, our ancestors, they probably used it occasionally to clean out the offenses they've done to their body throughout the year. They've done certain fasts. If you look into the Mayan calendar, when they were doing fasting and feasting, there's a whole different system, an organic living system. But now we just feast and overfeast every single day, and no one fasts, and no one goes through the cleansing process. So their buildup of stuff that shouldn't be in their body was small. They were taking in the devil plane, the satanic plane, the demonic plane in a equal balance to the spiritual plane, meaning they were etherically dreaming, and they were participating in higher knowledge, and they were cleansing their body from the things that they ingested. They did both. There was no separation. There wasn't, the world was not looked down upon, and the spirituality wasn't looked up to. It was taken in proper measures. But people have taken in so much of the lower realm, demonic world, and again, it's not a bad thing. It's just heavy weight. It's just dense material. that we've put in the wrong places and too much of it. And as I always say, it's not a problem to go out and enjoy the things and imbibe in whatever you like, but it's just having a no addiction, meaning the language that rumbles around your head, attached to Hanuman, the monkey mind, that says, go do this, go do that, go eat this. And then we become continuing and doing that. And now it stores up in our body as whatever it might be. So the urine just helps to speed up that process of moving things out of your body so you can re-inform your body to the proper charge and cleanse yourself out. And so these kidneys, being the temple storehouse for cleaning the water treatment facility, as it were, it takes in the dirty water and spits out clean water. And as that happens, the kidneys should be getting cleansed as well and pushing things out through the back door. And that's where your waste is. The waste product is the soil. You say a child soiled his pants, meaning pooped. And that poop goes to the soil. It's part of the soil and the soul of the earth. The soul is the sun and the soil is the earth. It's the same thing. One is dense and one is a vibrational light matrix. It's the dark and the light. It's just that simple. And it's putting it in your body in the proper measures. But we've overloaded it with dark magic, with dark energy, with dark material, matter, and now it's loaded in our kidneys. And what does it become? When it goes into your liver and gallbladder even, because that's another station for giving you life and cleansing, it becomes bile. And it becomes black. The black bile. The black bowel. So bile is considered black until you clean it. Until you clean out your system. So we have to just think of how we clean the kidneys out in a proper way by changing our diet over to liquid. Liquids are the way to go. And speed up processes with distilled water. And once again, here's a little side note on the distilled water problems. People immediately that you'll say, oh, drink distilled water. And people will go and research on the internet, and the first page, the first thing says early death comes of distilled water because it's leaching minerals out of the body. And that is true. It's leaching the bad minerals. It's leaching the inorganics out of your body. If you look out in nature, you'll see distilled water on plants, on trees, sitting there. And that's organic, right? Just like your body, just like what's going on in your body. Is it eating the plant away? Absolutely not. It's not eating. If water was eating things away, plant life wouldn't exist. You wouldn't see trees because it would eat away at it and it would just all fall to the ground, just like your body. But it doesn't. It collects the inorganics and moves it downstream. It collects those things. It solves that problem. It brings, as its hydrogen and oxygen, it brings oxygen, which oxidizes. It's basically rusting, and oxidizing is good when you have material in your body that you shouldn't have. So that high iron rich blood, your blood shouldn't have that iron in it. You have to get out of the iron age. You rust the iron and move it out of your body, because if you tried to move the big pieces of iron out of your body as a whole unit, you would have a lot of major problems. It couldn't happen. But we've put so much of it in our body, unbeknownst to most people. And then this goes into all of these people within these corporations are all evil and demonic. No, they just don't know any better. The people at the highest level, we'll put this in here. And then as the information gets out, well, you've got giant conglomerates, which are egregors, that are they're running with the wheels off. And the people that are part of the organization, the ones that know, they don't want to lose their paycheck. And the ones that don't know, which is the most of them, they're just going along with the system. But as soon as enough people become aware that the inorganics that they're putting into the foods and things, once that becomes more aware, and this is the information we put out there, people aren't really mad. The system is what's being displayed here. And this goes back into the psychology thing. And we're going to do the psychology thing real quick here on a couple levels. And then we'll get into the hair thing. But what's occurring is the programming. These people, remember the movie Tron? And he made the system, right? Jeff Bridges, JB, made the system and then dipped into the system. But then the system was mad at him, right? It was like he was the outcast. So in the same way, these systems are running and programming people's minds, and they're running these programs out of their mouths through their brains because they're just overrun by the system. The system can be corrected and changed. It doesn't have a consciousness. The system itself can be adjusted. And you adjust it by, and they talk about the 100th monkey, and they talk about that tipping point. And the tipping point is enough people being aware of what's going on. Because the system does, just like a rock, just like I've explained this in other videos, you can take a rock and you can build a temple. Or you can take a rock and you can drop it on someone's chest and kill them. That rock is happy to do both. And that rock is, the consciousness of a rock is a rock. You can build with it, you can transmute it as a magician, but most people are underneath the rock. They're underneath the program. The program has no consciousness other than the consciousness that we give it. And who wrote the systems? We all did. The organic world, the people, the humans, wrote the programs. So it's a matter of getting in there, adjusting the dials in everyone's head, and going, hey, the system isn't going to be mad at you. The system has no feelings. The system doesn't care. You can change things. And as this mounts up, the people that in their ignorance build a system that wasn't holistic. Again, I don't think anybody did this out of evil means. I think they were just trying to get money, be part of the physical world, and protect their family and their life and their livelihood, because they don't know any other way. But as the amount of information mounts, that hey, it can all work. There's enough for everyone. We just have to change the system slightly. There's just a couple things. There's a ghost in the system. And it's that idea that in Zen and the art of motorcycle maintenance, they talk about there's a ghost. We're sitting there believing in ghosts. The ghost is in the system. The ghost is running through people's heads. And this is the psychology of it. And this is I don't think I'll do the whole picture now that I was going to draw about this connection between self and what the outside source being a TV or someone else and a relation. We'll do that another time. I think I've covered enough of that here in what this matrix and this program is. We have to be focused on this one simple idea. There's no one at the helm of the ship. There's no one controlling it, and the programs don't care. The people that are programmed by it seem like they care, but they're just spitting out and regurgitating information that was dialed into their head. It's like people that have certain jobs that identify with being that job until they get a new job. Well, have they changed as a person? No, they were always themselves. And so these programs can just be identified differently. That's why you see people in all different kinds of jobs. They identify differently. But they're underneath the system of whatever that job is. And these are the things that are being programmed. And there's all sorts of businesses that go out of business. There's all sorts of egregors that fall because the consciousness gets raised up to go, oh, we can make a better system. And no one's a loser here. No one's losing by upgrading the entire system for the entire planet. No one can lose. It's simple. It's just upgrading the whole process. So what does this have to do with distilled water and heritage and hairs and ancestors? Well, the reason that monks shave their heads is to basically be reborn, to get rid of memory, to get rid of karma, as they would probably put it. And it's this reincarnation thing. Monks always say they're reincarnated. Well, they're reincarnating every time they shave their heads, because that antenna, that's what your hair is, an antenna to different wavelengths. So they go through a few days, maybe a month of getting information and connecting to different sources, and then they shave their head. They get rid of the connection to those pieces of information, those sources, so they become an empty blank slate once again. And this can happen through lifetimes or during a lifetime. This is what they try to do. They eliminate their karma. This is why their diet is so basic. They don't want to bring in anything into their temple. So their temple stays clean. They don't have any experiences. Maybe in the astral realm, maybe they're doing something out there, almost certainly. But their temple stays clean. But then again, they're not able to really dive deep into accessing and exploring all levels of shamanic consciousness, like an Indian might, a Native American, I don't even know what the correct word, tribal, a an ancestor. What can they do? What does their hair connect to? It's their heritage. They earned that. That was that was what they did. The struggle that they went through to grow that, to have those experiences. It's like a spine. It's like a connection to all realms. If you have a longer antenna, you can connect to more things. So it's not saying that these monks are wrong. It's no, that's what their purpose is. So what they do, they walk around with a big smile on their face. Namaste, love and light. It's a new day. It's a new experience, and that's a great attitude to have for a lot of people. A lot of people need that. A lot of people require a rebooting of the system. A lot of people require a rebirth. But Native Americans, they have a much larger heritage and philosophy. They have a different uh, participation in the snake realm as well as the eagle realm, the 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 higher spiritual realm and the lower demonic realm, the shamanic realms. And so that connection is to that. There you can look into these stories of um, during, I think it was World War II or World War I, that the natives of the land were brought into the military so they could astrally travel and they could get out of body and go do things. But what the system didn't understand, what the army and the military didn't understand, was that they were connected by their hair to different dimensions to be able to go and fetch the information, to be able to go see, to be a seer. They were connected with their heritage and their hair. And so, but they went into the army or went into whatever, and they would shave their head because that was part of whatever the army did. The people in the control didn't know any better. They just, well, this is what we do here. Oh, you have it in you, and they would shave their heads and they wouldn't be able to connect to the things. They wouldn't be able to get out of the into the different realms. Now, we're at a place and an age and an understanding that it doesn't really matter about what your hair looks like. It doesn't matter because we've upgraded consciousness on so many levels that anyone with any kind of level of spirituality, wherever that you can get rid of your hair if you'd like. You can. It doesn't. That's not the end all. It's just a tool. It's a very good tool. It's a very important tool for some people, but for others, they can have a very spiritual life. It's like talking about people that eat meat or that live in the desert or live in the cold weather. Like, it doesn't take away from their spirituality or what they're capable of, or it doesn't make them anything different. It's just where you are. You have, like a lot of people have the capability to not participate in karmic things like eating meat and succubusing off of other things' bloods, so they can just eat the fruit, or even get to the point of just consuming of themselves and urine or water, and that's the next level. But as I'm putting this out here, what the idea is, the again, heritage is hair, and it's the connection to the spiritual realms that the shaman, that the Native American has. So what else? What else do I want to get into here? I think that's about it here. I'll listen to this again. I'll see if there's anything that I missed. And yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Chat soon.